Hello, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me, right? Okay, that's great. Okay, so finally we got to the end. Today is the last lecture, right? So we are at the end of the semester. So like last week, we will have some review material. Think of it as a practice material. Okay, so we'll practice all together. First, we'll talk about the final exam. Again, if you have any question, I will answer, and then we'll talk about a few topics, okay? So first of all, an acknowledgement of the country. I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of Australia and recognize their continuing connection to land, water, and culture. I am currently on the land of the Buramatagal people and pay my respect to their elder, past, present, and emerging. I further acknowledge the traditional owners of the country on which you are on and pay respect to their elder, past, present, and future. So final exam, I'm guessing everyone is familiar with all the rules by now. So the exam will be on 26th of November at 9 a.m. That is Sydney time. If you are not in Sydney, you need to adjust your time accordingly. Duration will be 175 minutes. The breakdown is reading time is 10 minutes, then writing time 150 minutes, and to upload your solution file, so you have 15 minutes there. Okay. So once again, you can start writing from minute zero. That means you can use that reading time as your writing time as well. That's fine, but do not use this upload time as your writing time. Okay. So everyone will start the exam at the same time. So that simply means everyone will submit their exam at the same time as well. Okay. So since the system will get really busy, a lot of hundreds of students will be submitting at the same time. Okay, so there might be some issues. So that's why we have this extra 15 minutes, which is known as buffer time as well. Okay. So use that time only to upload your submission. You can submit multiple times, but like you are familiar that we only mark the last one that you submit. Okay. So there is no late submission policy in final exam. As soon as that 175 minutes is over, then the portal will be closed and you will not be able to upload anything. Okay. Because you have this 15 minutes extra to upload, so all of those issues needs to be handled within that 15 minutes. So there is no late submission for final exam. So the exam will be happening in a new Canvas site, final exam for Comp 9120. You will have access to that site 7 days before the exam. And if you have any exam adjustment, like you are registered with disability service or you have any special consideration approved, so all of those will be done by exam office. Okay. And they will send you an email regarding that within 3 days before the exam. If you have any question regarding final exam website, okay, like the Canvas page and the adjustment, so you need to contact exam office. Okay. If you have any clash as well, then two of your exams are in the same time or in the same day, you want to reschedule them, so you need to contact with the exam office in that case. Most important thing, keep track of your time during the exam. There is no clock counting down, so you have to keep your own time. Set an alarm, okay, when the time is up, so that you know, or you don't have to keep checking your clock again and again. Okay, so this is very important. There is no clock in Canvas assignment. You have to keep your time. Okay, so make sure you set some alarm for that. Regarding question, there is no MCQ question in the final exam. Okay, so like I said last week, you think about this, that in quizzes we had MCQ questions, right? But in the final exam we'll have same sort of questions, but no options will be there for you, right? So in MCQ questions there are normally 3 or 4 options. You will simply select from one of those, right? In the final exam questions will be there, no options, so you have to write the answer there. Okay. All of those are essay type questions. 10 question you are going to get, which contains 50 marks. Okay, and these are all the topics that we have covered in this unit so far. Okay, So you need to have a look into all of these. Okay, so from all of these, you are going to get 10 questions, 50 marks. You will write everything in your own document, convert that into PDF, and then upload. Okay, how you do your assignment. So that one will be a Canvas assignment, not a quiz. So however you have submitted assignment, that is the same thing you need to go through. Okay. Last thing to mention is from the final exam, you need to get at least 40%. Okay, and overall you need to get 50% to pass this unit. Okay, so since this exam is of 50 marks, that simply means you need to get 20 out of 50, and overall you need to get 50 out of 100, right? So to get a pass in this unit. There is a practice exam available in Canvas. I'm guessing everyone has already seen that. Some of you have already taken that one. That's great. So try that one. Okay, so any issue that you face, so that you are familiar with those beforehand. Okay, so go through that exam, whatever you write, answer a few of those questions. If you can answer all of those, just to check your time, whether you can finish all of those within your time, that will be great. Okay, so try all of those, and then how to convert, how to upload, so that you are familiar with the portal. Okay, yeah, so that's everything that I wanted to mention. Any question regarding final exam? Remember, today is the last day that you ask question regarding this. Okay, so any question you have, feel free to ask. Someone is asking, do we have some advice on what to focus our revision on? Yeah, so you need to go through the lecture slide. Okay, so going through the lecture slide will be the best thing to do. And then for practice the tutorial sheet that you have, and also from the book. In the book, in the exercise, you will see a lot of practice material there. Okay, so those will be helpful to clarify your knowledge. Okay, so first go through the lecture slide that you have, learn the thing, then go to the tutorial sheet that you have. Okay, so try to solve them again, and then match with the solution, whether they match. And finally, to be confident, really confident, then complete then the exercise from the book. Okay, so that one will make you a lot more confident, I think, and that one will make you prepared for the final exam. Someone is asking, do we have tutorial today? Yes, you have a tutorial today. So this week your tutor will go through revision again. Okay, few things, few practice material they will go through. So yes, you have a tutorial today. The difficulty and length are similar to quiz essay questions. Yes, difficulties are sort of like same. Okay, so in terms of length, in the practice there is 10 questions. In the final exam there will be 10 questions. Okay, number of questions in each section might differ a little bit. Like, let's say in one question you have, in the practice exam there might be 1 or 2, in the final you could get 3, things like that. Simple 1 or 2 changes could be there, but the length will be almost same. In terms of difficulty level is like the quiz that you had. Okay, so in the quiz you had those essay type questions. Think about those type of questions you are going to get in the final exam as well. When can we get the feedback for quiz 2? Next week. Okay, so in the middle of next week, hopefully we'll be able to give the feedback for quiz 2, and we will try to finish the marking of assignment 2 before your final exam. Okay, so even if 1 or 2 days before final exam, that's what we'll look for. But quiz 2, that one will definitely release next week. Okay. We do final exam on sub canvas. I'm not sure what you mean by sub canvas, but Yep, there will be a new Canvas page. Okay, so new Canvas page simply means this page, final exam for Comp 9120. So in new Canvas page will be created for you. You will see that that will appear on your Canvas dashboard. In your Canvas dashboard, you will find it. Okay, so where you see all of your, so if I click on dashboard, like here I see all of the courses that I am enrolled in, right? So in here you will see a new one. That one will say final exam for Comp 9120. Okay, and you will get access to that 7 days before the exam. So from 19th of November, you can check, probably that thing will be there. Someone is asking final exam within 3 days to do that. I don't get your question. Can you clarify what you mean by that? Within 3 days, what to do? If you mean this Canvas page, then you will get access to Canvas page within 7 days. Okay. And these 3 days is only for those who have exam adjustment. Okay, so they will get an email regarding their exam adjustment, that their exam adjustment has been done. So the difficulty of exam is similar to quiz. Yeah, so the questions that you had, the essay type of questions in the quiz that you had, okay, so those sort of questions you will get. Few extra thing that you did not experience in quiz was drawing something, right? So drawing means like drawing an ER diagram. Because in Canvas quiz, we cannot draw anything. Okay, so there is no option to draw. So that's why drawing something was not in quiz, but in the final exam, since you are preparing the document yourself, okay, so you have to draw. Okay, so in the final exam, you need to draw like an ER diagram, how you did for your assignment. So that is the only thing that has changed, I would say. Otherwise, yeah, everything will be like quiz questions. Someone is asking, do we have to draw during final exam? Yes, you have to. Okay, so you have to draw at least an ER diagram for the final exam. Wherever you want to draw, that's fine. You can use Draw.io or any other software, or even if you want to simply draw on Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, that will be fine. Okay, no issues there. Someone is asking, how complex will the ERD be in the final? Asking because this could take up a lot of time jumping between the drawing software and the exam. Yes, very good question. Yeah, so we'll have some practice today as well. In the practice exam, you will see ER diagram. That one is asking you to draw an ER diagram. So you can think something like that, okay, where you have to draw 5 or 6 tables and then connect them, things like that. Okay, not very complicated. All the information should be there to draw. Do we have proctor review during the final exam? No, we don't. There is no proctor review. So this is open book short release exam. Okay, so there is no proctor review. The exam questions only relevant to your current page, or there are more than that. So these are all the topics actually. Okay, so I have listed all the topics in here. So yes, these are all the topics for final exam. So in here I have written everything. So this was our syllabus that we tried to cover, right? So I simply took all of these and put it there in a short form. So except for from week 7, where we learned about application development sort of thing, okay? So we learned about Java, Python, those sort of things. So those are not covered in the final exam. Other than that, everything will be covered in the final exam. Any other question? We have 10 questions during exam with sub question each question, not in each question, but in some of the questions you will have sub questions, like SQL, there you might have sub questions, okay? Writing relational algebra, you might have to write more than one. Okay, so things like that. In few of the questions, you have sub questions, not in all of those. Okay. So we can write all those 10 question answers with drawing in a paper and then upload by converting into PDF. Yes, so that is the idea, right? So you will answer all of the question in a single document, okay? So you will prepare, let's say you are using Microsoft Word. So in Microsoft Word, you will prepare the document, okay? So there you will answer everything. Wherever you draw, that's fine. You simply put that into that file, okay? Then convert it into a PDF and then upload. So you upload only one file, okay? Do not upload more than one file, okay? So do not think like, okay, in one file I will answer, let's say first 3 questions, and in one I will answer the last 3 questions, okay? Things like that. So again and again, I'm saying we will only mark the last one, last file, right? So we will not look into all of your files. So that's why I'm saying that make only one file and then upload that one in Canvas. Okay, and only in that file include all of your answers. Oh, handwritten document, do not do that. Okay, handwritten document have a lot of issues. So do not write your answers by hand. Okay, always type your answer. First problem is that sometimes we can't read, okay, your handwritten thing, because after writing, then you take a picture. The picture might not be clear, okay, so it might not load properly, okay? So a lot of things happen when you do that. So don't do that. Always type so that there is no confusion in there, okay? So do not try to write or draw by hand and then take picture and then upload. Don't do that, okay? If some issues occur, you will definitely going to lose mark for that, okay? If we can't read or if we can't understand anything, definitely you are going to lose mark, okay? So don't do that. Any other question anyone might have? Looks like none. Seems like I have answered all of your confusions. I have clarified all the confusions. If you still have any confusion, feel free to write on it, okay? Will it still be available there to answer your queries? No worries, okay? So make sure you get access within 7 days. I'll send you email or post something on it, then you should have access by now, things like that when the deadline comes, okay? So I will keep you updated regarding final exam as well. Okay, so I think we can move on. So like I said, except for week 7, we will cover everything in the final exam. Last week we tried to cover week 6, 8, 9, I think. We could not cover 10 and 11, but we'll have a look there. But mostly we'll talk about this first part today. Okay. So drawing ERD diagram, then writing SQL queries and relational algebra. That's it. Okay, so starting with the very small one so that you can remember, then we'll try to draw a complete one. What do you think will be the correct answer for this statement? Each chef prepares at most one dish, and every dish must be prepared by at least one chef. You can just write A, B, C, or D in the chat box. Yeah, answers are coming up. 3 students are saying that would be A. Anyone else? Yeah, very easy. This one is simply saying at most and at least. So we need to remember what does at most and what does at least represent, right? So each shape prepares at most one dish. So that should be an arrow. Every dish must be prepared by at least one shape. So at least is a thick line, right? So that one would be A. Excellent, that there is no confusion regarding that. All of you answered A. Those of you who didn't answer, that's fine. Just try to recall how you represent all of those things, okay? Just to make sure you remember everything else. So what does this one represents? Thick and 10 arrow. Can anyone write? What does this one means? Thick line and 10 arrow. Exactly one. Yes. And what about this one? Just not thick line, in normal line. Someone is saying no constraint. That means many. Yeah. So this one represents many, right? That's great that you remember. Okay, so we are going to do a complete ER diagram and then we'll have a discussion. So read this specification, try to draw something. You can even draw by hand. Okay, I'll give you a portal where you can upload the drawing. Okay, so you can simply draw a piece of paper, that's fine, or you can even draw in your computer if you think that is easier. So anywhere, try to draw a few things. Even if you don't write all the attributes, that's fine. Simply try to draw the entity, try to connect the relationship using the relationship table. Okay, so try to do that. And once you are done, you can upload it in this Padlet that we have. Let me share the link with you. So I've shared that link in the chat. Okay, so in here you can upload. Click on this plus sign. Here you have this option to upload. Okay, so you can simply click and upload any file that you have. You're going to upload. Okay, so try to do that. Okay, once we get at least a couple of designs, then we can have a discussion. Okay, so if I just only show you the right answer or the correct answer, that one will always make sense, I guess. Okay, but when you try to draw it at that time, some of you might make some mistake, and that's what we are going to clarify. If you are taking picture from your phone, you can directly upload from your phone as well. Okay, so here is the QR code. Let me share the QR code with you. So using that QR code, if you want, you can. So here is the QR code if someone is using their phone to take a picture and upload. So simply scan this QR code and that one will give you access using your phone, and from that phone taking a picture and upload will be easier, I think. I've downloaded and uploaded in the chat. Nice. Someone is asking how to upload PNG in Final. So you will create a document, right? So in that document, you will insert that image file that you have. So you are going to use an Microsoft Word, let's say. So in Microsoft Word, you will simply paste that PNG file or any image file that you have. Someone is saying cannot log in. It does not require any login. Is it asking for login information? Yeah, diagram link. Should we log in? No. So I have just given you this Padlet where you can upload if you are drawing the yard diagram where you can upload. Okay, so there you don't need any login. Someone is asking, so should we do with this website? Which one you are talking about? So I simply asked to draw you this ER diagram, and if you want to share with us, yeah. So that's where I want to upload for now, not for the exam. Yeah, so Padlet is there where you can upload. Okay. Once you are done drawing your ER diagram, here you can upload so that I can have a look. Okay. Do we need to upload year diagram on this web in final exam? No, you don't. For the final exam, you prepare the document yourself. Okay, so in that document, you include all the answers of the questions that you are going to get. And that's it. Once you are done writing all of the answers, convert it into PDF and then upload in Canvas. Okay, not in Padlet or anywhere else. So this is just for now to practice and to share with others, okay, so that we can have a discussion. Depending on where you are drawing that one. So if you want to take any screenshot, you can. If you are like drawing in a draw.io web page, from there you can download it as an image file. You don't have to take any screenshot there, right? So it depends in which software you are drawing that thing, right? So if you are drawing that one in Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, you can simply copy and paste it, right, in your Word document. You don't have to screenshot it. If you are drawing in a software like Lucid, draw.io, okay, from there you can simply export that one as an image file and then upload. Okay, no one have shared, but I'm guessing few of you are working. Okay, so it's taking a bit of time. So let's go through this step one by one, okay, so that we have general idea and then we'll talk about it. So how many entity do I need to create? Try to think how many entity, not relationship. Okay, so a strong entity, think about how many strong entity we need to create to answer this question. Someone is thinking 4, someone is thinking 5. Okay. Is there any weak entity in this specification? Someone is saying order. Why do you think that? Any justification why order could be weak entity? Yep. Someone said no customer, no order. Yes. Someone is saying product. Someone is saying no weak entity. Okay, so let's go step by step, starting from the first one. Okay. So the company has employees is identified by a unique employee number. So since this one is saying this is unique, so that would be my primary key, and name and the salary. Okay, so that's why I have. So in employee table, we have employee number, employee name, and the salary. Then we have a customer table, right? So in customer table is identified by a unique customer number. So I have a customer number, name, and registration date. So all of those things are there. We also have product. So each product sold by the company is identified by the unique product number. So we have product number, which is unique given. So that one will be my primary key, and all of the other attributes, product name, unit price, and quantity. And finally, the order thing comes, right? So the order thing is saying each order placed by a customer is taken by an employee. So a lot of informations are given in each of these statements. So in here, I have used order as an weak entity. Why? Like someone said, if there is no customer, right, then this order has no meaning. So someone is saying that order have his own order number. Yeah, that's fine. So weak entity will have their discriminator, right? So discriminator means using which we can uniquely identify. So that one is known as discriminator. So in this case, order number will be a discriminator, right? So, but does it depends on employee table? if one employee is gone, should I delete all the orders that employee has taken? We do not, right? Because even if that employee is gone who has taken that order should exist in our database because the customer is there, right? So since the customer is there, the order should be there. Even if the employee is gone, so it doesn't matter. It will have no effect on order. Okay. Someone is saying, can I add an entity like company has customers? So here you have no information regarding that company that you are thinking about, right? So all of these are regarding employees. So each employee is identified by all of these. So here you have no information given in here for company table. Okay. So that's why you don't need to create company table. If you are going to create some extra table, that's fine. We'll not look into that as long as you have everything that is required. Okay, so that's where we're looking into. So hopefully this is now making sense that order would be an weak entity in this case. So once we have that, then we need to connect all of these things. So how should we connect? So this one is saying each order placed by a customer. So one customer places an order, right? But one customer can place multiple orders, but for each order, there will be a customer. So that's what he's saying. So each order placed by a customer. For each order, there will be a customer, right? So that's why we have this, hopefully making sense. And one customer can place multiple orders. So that's what this means. Each order is taken by an employee. So one employee will take the order. So that's why we have exactly one on this side, and one employee can take multiple orders. Okay. Hopefully that part is making sense. And since this is weak with customer, that's why we have weak relationship in here, and here we have strong. Finally, with the product, so this one is saying each order contains specified quantities of each product. So this is understandable that one order need to have at least one product. So that's why we have this at least symbol, right? And one product can be in multiple orders, right? So each order has the date of receipt. So these are attributes that we are talking about. So all of those attributes are there. Few questions are here. What will happen if we miss relations like takes, plays, and contains? So you are going to lose mark, right? So if you are not creating any of those, so think about how you are going to connect all of your tables that you have. Okay. So even if you miss one, let's say you are missing take, so you can simply see that there is no connection with employee with rest of the year diagram, right? So you are going to lose mark in that case. So there will be partial marking depending on how much you have drawn. Okay, so any assumption you have made, like your assignment, you can put any assumptions that you have made. Okay, so like someone is saying regarding company, so if you are going to create a company table, you might assume few things, what would be the attributes and things like that. Okay, so those would be your assumptions. If in exam I add entity company, can I get full mark? So like I say, so even if you create a company, you are not going to get any mark for that, or we will not deduct any mark for that one as well, right? So we'll simply look into all of these things, whether all of these things are covered in your year diagram. If you have anything extra, that's fine. Okay, you will not lose any mark, you will not gain any mark from there as well. Someone is saying, can I not use course arrow from order to employee because I do not think employee just take only one order? So is this saying that thing? Think again. So you got it wrong. So what does this arrow is saying? Is it saying that employee takes only one order? No, this one is saying employee takes multiple orders. And this thick arrow is saying on one order is taken by one employee, exactly one employee. Okay, so you got it the other way. Okay, so that's where your confusion is. Hopefully that's making clear. Someone is saying employee take order Yes, employee takes order. So that's one is written here. Each order is taken by an employee. Someone is saying why employee take order, not product. So employee will take an order, and in that order, all of those products will be listed, right? So employee takes the order, and in that order, we will contain all the products that we will have. Why we don't need company? Could you repeat again? Yes. So into this question, in this question, there is nothing about a company, right? So there is no attribute of company table. There is no relation of company table with any other table, right? So there is actually nothing regarding companies. This one is simply saying a company has employees, and then for each of the employee, what we have, and for every customer, what do we have. Next question. Is available means quantity attribute? Which one is available? I don't have any is available table in this case. Can you just clarify which one do you mean? Someone is asking, will the red diagram in the final be really complicated like assignment 1? No. So like I said, look into the practice exam that you have. So you are going to get something like that in the final exam. Okay. How can we know entity is weak? So if one table is dependent on another table, right? So that's how we know whether that entity is weak or not. Right? So if the existence of a row depends on another table's data, right? So at that time, we know that that table is weak. So if you remember the examples that we have learned, like if we have a dependent table in here, sorry, I should draw a rectangle. So if we have a dependent table in here for employee, if the employee is gone, then all the dependent of that employee should be deleted as well, right? So that's when dependent will become and weak entity. So that's how we know. So if one table's data depends on another table, depends on any strong table, right? At that time, we know that that one will be a weak entity. Can I use people as father entity, customer, and employee as son entity? Yes, you can do that. So you can create an inheritance. So you can create one table in here and then connect employee and customer. Okay, so you can put this employee number, customer number as a common attribute name in here, but salary and registration date you cannot put in this one. So salary will go into employee table, registration date will go into customer table. Yes, that's what you can do. Okay, so like I was saying, so that is the assumption you are making, right? That all of those customers, all of those employee will have this number is same for customer and employee because we are putting that as a common attribute, right? So you need to write that assumption in there. If the arrow that through order to places, I did not draw it thicker, is this will lose mark? Yes. So you are going to lose very small amount of marking there, okay? But because if you don't put this one as a thick, so what does that mean? You can have an order where there is no product, right? So you have an order, a customer has placed an order, employee have taken that order, but there is no product in that order. So should that order exist? That order should not exist in your database, right? If there is no product. So there needs to be at least one product in that case. Someone is asking about contains attribute. Yeah, so in contain, we have this quantity, right? So this quantity is saying how much do you want? So this one is saying each order contains a specified quantity, right? So in here, we have, let's say in product number 1, I have 10 in stock, but in an order, how many we are ordering? So we are ordering, let's say 2. So that's what this quantity is saying, okay? So in stock, I have 10, but right now one customer is ordering for 2. if order is a weak entity, then place must use double diamond. Yes, so if it is a weak entity, right, so it is dependent on which table, customer, employee, or product. So depending on that one, that relationship will be a weak relationship, right? So this order is dependent on customer. So that's why the relationship that we have, that one is weak. Let's say this one is dependent on employees, at that time this one will be weak, or if it is dependent on product, at that time this one will be weak, right? So order table depends on which one, that's what this one is representing. Someone is asking, like the ERD diagram right now, the difficulty. So again, for the difficulty level, try that practice exam question that we had. Okay, so those sort of difficulty will be there. Why there is no thick arrow between contents and product? So if you put a thick arrow in here, can anyone tell me what is it that I'm writing? Someone is asking for a thick arrow in here. So what does that mean? What does thick arrow represents? At least, at most, exactly one. What does it represent? Thick arrow, at least one. Yep. So you are restricting that every product that you have, that one should be in at least one order. Right? So if you put a thick arrow in here, that's what you are saying. But that might not be the case, right? So you can have few products in your company which any customer has not ordered yet. So that's why it will not be a thick arrow. Right? So when I'm putting a thick arrow in there, I'm saying every product needs to be in at least one order. So every product needs to be ordered. What is the double rectangle mean in the places? So this one means that there is a weak relationship. So there is a weak relationship between order and customer. That's what this one is representing. So this one is representing weak entity set, and this one is representing weak entity type. Can I draw the ER diagram by hand and upload the picture? No, that is not recommended at all, like I explained before. Okay, hopefully you got the gist or got some idea. Okay, so again, if you are going to make any assumptions based on the question that you have, okay, so make sure that you write those assumptions so that you know how you interpreted all of these statements and what you draw. Okay, so write those assumptions whenever you are drawing an ER diagram. Okay. So if there is no assumptions written in there, so we're definitely going to look from our interpretation, right? So whatever is written there, what is our interpretation, what is the standard answer there? If you have any sort of assumptions, like someone was talking about company table, yeah, you can draw that, but write that assumption. Hopefully making sense. So in the exam as well, you will have these sort of lines, statements. Okay, so you simply need to convert all of those into ER diagram. Someone is asking, it is recommended to write assumption, but not must. So again, if you are making any assumption, then must write it. If you don't make any assumptions, then you don't have to write. Right? But if you are going to make any assumptions, write that one. Okay, so in the final exam, the question of ERD has the same format with this example. Yes. So again, go through the practice exam. Okay, so look into the practice exam ERD question. Okay, and there you will see how that was formatted. Okay, let me move on. Okay, so let's say we have covered drawing an ER diagram. You are all familiar. So now the next part, what we learned is converting an ER diagram into an schema diagram, right, into actual tables. So before converting that whole thing, let's do it few small things first so that we remember. So if I convert this ER diagram into schema diagram into table, how many table do I have to create? 2, 3. How many table I have to create if I convert this ER diagram into table? So few people are saying 3, few people are saying 2. Anyone else? So, and the one is saying 3, 3, 3, 3. Lots of 3s are there. Another one is saying 2. Okay, a lot of people are saying 3. So whoever is saying 2, why 2? 3 we can see, right? There is 3 in here. But if you're saying 2, why 2? Yep. Yeah, looking at the relation that we have. So all of those people that said 3, you are wrong. How many tables we need to create? We need to figure out the relationship. What is the relationship there, right? So if we have many-to-many relationship, only then we draw a table for the relationship table that we have. But in here, what do we have? In here, we have that one player plays in at most one team. So this represents at most, right? And one team can have 0 or many players. So we have one-to-many relation in this case. So if we have one-to-many relation, right? So we don't have to create any table for this. So we'll only create one table for player and one table for team. So we'll create only 2 teams. Now the next question is then how do we connect these 2 tables then? So we create a foreign key, right? So again, to take a foreign key into another table, we have 2 options. Either we can take PID to this team table, right? Or we can take this TID and put it into this player table. So let's say this is option A, this is option B. Which one is correct? Should I put PID into teams table, or should I take team ID and put it into player table? Two people are saying option B. B. Everyone is saying B. Yep. Now you can understand, right? So if I put player ID into teams table, we'll be in trouble because one team can have multiple players. But one player can play in only one team, right? So that's what we are going to do. So we are going to take team ID and we are going to put that one into player table. Hopefully that is making sense now. So if we convert this into schema diagram, we are going to create 2 tables because we have one-to-many relationship in here. Only when we have many-to-many, at that time we need to create table for this relationship. Okay. In this case, since we have one-to-many, so we don't need to create anything for the relationship table, but we need to figure out where will this foreign key go. Okay. So in this case, foreign key will go to the player table because one player plays in only one team. But since one team can have multiple players, since think about if I put a PID in here, we'll be in trouble, right? Because team ID is the primary key. We need to repeat, which we cannot do. Hopefully making sense. Let's try another one. What about this one? How many tables we have to create in this case? Yep. Looks like everyone got the idea now. So this one is many-to-many, right? So here I have many-to-many relation. So one book contains 0 to many. and one book can be found in zero to many libraries as well. So there is a many to many relation. So we have to create everything in here. So things should be very easy. Library table, lead and name, book table, BID and title, contents table, what should it contain, all the primary keys, right, from the connecting table. So from library it will get LID, from book it will get BID, and those two will be my foreign key as well. Right, so that's what we are going to do. So again, just remember, when we have many to many relationship, at that time we need to create a table for this relationship table. Okay, if the cardinality or the relationship mapping is not many to many, we will not create any table. Okay. Remembering that, can you convert this ER diagram into a schema diagram? Which table we have to create, which table we don't have to create, and what will be the attribute? So this time you can write on this Padlet, right? So let me share another one. Yeah, so I've shared another Padlet link with you, which the title should say schema design. Click on that one. Oh no, I have shared it with only one person. Yeah, I've shared that one in the chat box. Click on that one. You should see schema diagram on the top of the Padlet, and there you can start writing, right? So how do you write? You simply write employee, and within bracket you write the attributes, so things like that. Someone is saying, what if we have constraint on both sides? So that's fine. So if you have constraint on both sides, so think about what would be the mapping in there. So if it is one-to-one, then you don't need to draw and create any table for the relationship, right? If it is one-to-many, many-to-one, so depending on what sort of constraint you have. Only if when you have many-to-many, at that time you create an extra table. If I use draw.io to draw the ERD diagram, what format I need to submit in final exam PDF? Yes. So you draw something in draw.io, then you download it, right, from there, and then you put it in your Word document. So you put that image file. So after exporting from draw.io, yep, you put that into your Word document, and then when all of your answers are there in the Word document, you convert that into PDF and you upload that PDF, which will contain your diagram. Yes. Someone is asking, sorry, what was the previous diagram? Thick arrow. I have a confusion between thick and thin arrow. Thin arrow is at most part of thin arrow. Yeah. Already answered. So this time try to write in the Padlet. Okay, so this time you simply can write, click on the plus sign on the bottom right, and then start typing. Anyone figured out how many table you need to create in this schema diagram in total for this ER diagram? How many table you are going to create in your schema diagram? Yep. Looks like everyone is saying 5. Excellent. So which two you are not going to create? Because here we can see 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So which two you are not going to create? Takes and places. Yep, excellent job. If you want. So once we know that, then it should be easier, right? So which one we have to create and which one we don't. So first is employee. So all the attributes are there, should be very simple. So employee have employee number, employee name, salary, and this is the primary key, right? Then customer, this should be easy as well. So all of those things are written. Product, that one is easy as well. What about now order? How many attributes would be there in order table? Can anyone tell me? Here I can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Any other attribute in order table I need to put? How many attributes will be there in order table? Everyone is saying 6. So I have 4 on top. Order, number, date of receipt, these two. What are the two other attributes? Yep, customer number and employee number. Since we are not creating anything for text and places, so that's how we are connecting order and employee and order and customer. Excellent job. So yeah, that's what I have simply done. So I have taken customer number and employee number from these two tables, put in the order table, and all the other fours are there. Right. So, and I'm saying what will be the primary key. So primary key will consist of this customer number and order number, right? Because this is discriminator, that's why I have dotted line in here, you can see. Foreign key would be these two, customer number and employee number coming from these two tables. Okay. Lastly, what table do we need to create? This contains table we have to create, right? So contains table, what do we have in contains table? So the primary key of product table, which is product number, and the primary key of order table. So the primary key of product table is customer number and order number. And from product table, we need to get product number. So these three attributes should be there. And also it has its own attribute, which is quantity. Right? So all of these should be there. Customer number, order number coming from here. Product number is coming from product table, and quantity is attribute. Okay. And then primary key and foreign key. Hopefully this part is making sense. Someone is asking, is too thick row, I'm guessing you are writing arrow, too thick arrow are many too many? Can anyone answer that? So I'm guessing you're asking here, if I have a thick in here and if I have a thick in here, is that many too many? What do you think? So what does this one say? This one says at least, right? So this one is at least, that simply means that it could be more than one. So at least one, that means more than once, which is many. And from this side, we also have many. So this is a many to many relationship, right? So if we have a thick arrow in here, that is also at least one. So at least one also means that one will be many to many, right? So at least means minimum is one, but we can have many, right? So hopefully that is making sense. So even if we have a thick line, but this is at least one, okay? So that's why the PK of order are customer number and order number, because this is a weak table, right? So weak table, in weak table, we only have discriminator. And the primary key consists of the primary key of the strong entity plus the discriminator in the weak entity set that we have. Okay, so that's why using customer number and order number, we will create the primary key of order table. Why customer number is not part of PK of order? Yes, it is. So in order table, we have PK customer number. So in order table, customer number is the PK. Customer number and order number will create this PK. Oh, employee number. No, employee number is not the primary key in that table, right? So you can repeat that employee number. So one employee can take multiple orders. So that's why that is not part of the primary key that we have. So the primary key of an weak entity set, how do we create that? So we use that the strong entity set. So for order table, customer table is the strong entity set, right? So the primary key of customer table plus the discriminator will create a primary key for this order table that we have. So I want to see why contains have customer number. So how do we connect? So when we create a table, an extra table for the relationship table, what do you take? You take the primary key from these two tables, right? So what is the primary key of order table? So the primary key of order table is customer number and order number. So you need to take both of them into contains. And from here you have only one, which is product number. That's why this one is coming. So you need to take the primary key from one table into the relationship table. So the primary key of order table is these two. This is a composite primary key. So that's why we have to take both of them. Okay, hopefully making sense. Okay, let me move on. Okay, so think about, now we will shift our focus into something else now. So we have a table, we have created that table, and we have this data as well. After that, I want to modify the table. Okay, so after that, if I want to modify a table, then what sort of modification I am looking for? So let's say I am trying to modify the table to set the name attribute as not null. Can anyone write the statement for that? What statement I need to write to modify the table so that the name attribute becomes not null? Currently it is null. If we get nothing, it is null, right? So how to modify the table and set the name attribute as not null? Should be only one line of statement. Can anyone write that? If you're thinking about just putting not null in here, that's what will not work, right? So like I say, this table has already been created, all the data are there, and after that I am trying to modify. Okay, yep. How to translate an is a relationship into relationship model, relational model. So think about if you have a person table in here, right? And you have two table in here. One is like employee, another one is customer, right? So in this table, you have an attribute, you have a lot of attributes, let's say ID, name, and in employee table, you have, let's say, salary. In here, you have joining date or the registration date, things like that. So when you translate that, so here you have that is a relation. So when you translate that, what you need to do, you first need to create the person table. So all of the attributes will be there. So person table is as it is. In employee table, what do you write? So instead of writing all of the attributes, you simply take the primary key from here and put it into employee table. And same thing you will do for customer table. Okay, so that's how you translate an easy relation into schema diagram. Does that make sense? Okay, that's great. Okay, so someone wrote alter table student, then alter column name not null. Excellent, Winbo. Yep. So whatever is written there on the chat box, that is the same thing I have written here. Yep. So alter table student, then alter the column name and set not null. Okay, so that's what we need to do. What about this one? One line of a statement, write one line of a statement to change the country of Simon from GBR to USA. Should we use alter again? Yep, this one would be update. Excellent. So what is the query? Someone is asking, so need 3 tables for the is a relationship? Yes. For all of those tables, you will create one. Yes, excellent job. Someone wrote update student set country equal to USA where name equal to Simon. Excellent job. Yep. So remember when we need to use alter, when we need to use update. So when we are trying to change the structure, right, the attributes, at that time we use alter. When you are using the changing the value, at that time you use update. Excellent job. What about this one? Write an SQL statement to delete all the records from student table. I want to remove all the record from this student table. That means the table would be there, the attributes will be there, but there will be no data. Someone is saying, can we use where SID equal to 1004? No, if you use that one, you are going to get 0 because that one is not given. How do you know SID equal to 1004? So only thing you have given is Simon. That is the name that you have. So that's what you need to put. Yep, I have got 2 varying answers. Someone is saying drop student, someone is saying delete. Someone wrote delete star from table student, delete star from student. If you have used that star symbol, you are wrong. You forgot the syntax. Something Chinese is written, alter table something. Sorry, I can't read that. Yep, no worries. So yeah, some of you are right. We need to delete all the records. So this time we are not going to drop. So this one is saying delete record. So we need to simply delete the records. Okay, so we need to write delete from student. That's it. No star. If you are using a star, you are going to lose mark. Okay, so in delete we don't have that symbol. So the command is delete from, and then the table name, and if you have any condition there. Okay. Last thing, write an SQL statement to delete student table. Someone is asking, delete from means still keep the table. Yes, the table would be there, only the records will be deleted. Okay, so all of these rows will be gone, but the table will still be there in your database. Yep. Yeah, so when you are deleting the student table, so this one is saying delete the table. That's what this one is saying. That I am trying to delete the table, right? So at that time we need to use drop table student. So read the question carefully, think about which one you are trying to work on, whether that is data or the structure, okay, and then write that one. Relational algebra should not be that difficult. List the name of all students enrolled in this unit, TBMS. So here we have 3 tables: student, enrolled, and into study. How do you write? I'll go through a few of those. So for answering this one, we need to go through 3 of these tables, right? So we simply join all of them and then put the condition where title equal to DBMS. From there, we select the name. Okay. So if you have any difficulty writing these symbols in your document that you are preparing, you can use these symbols in the final exam as well. No worries. Okay. So this one will be converted into something like this. Project the name, select title equal to something, then perform this operation. Right. Someone is asking, does the order of join matter? No, it does not matter, but be careful where you are putting which condition. Okay. So what do I mean by that? I will explain later when I put condition. Okay. List the ID of students who are not enrolled in any unit of study. Can anyone write that one in relational algebra? from these three tables. Should be a simple one. You can just write it P, S, X, A, J, this, okay? So you don't have to worry about writing these symbols. In the chat box, you can simply use these characters. Yep, someone just give us some clue. You need to use minus. So if I just minus, so if I just write student minus enrolled, will that work? No, someone said no. Yep. So if I simply write the student minus enroll, because in the student table, we have all the student. In enroll table, we have the student who are enrolled. So the question is asking who are not enrolled. So if we simply do a subtraction between these two, we are going to get the students who are not enrolled, right? So what do we need to do in this case? So simply doing a minus between student and enrolled will not work. What was the condition for said operation? That the attributes, number of attributes should be same and their type would be same as well. Right. So what do we need to do? So from enroll table, first we will select the SIDs. From student table, we will select the SIDs, and then we are going to do a subtraction, a minus there, set difference. Right. Yep. Someone got it up there. Excellent job. Someone is writing SQL query, but this question was for relational algebra. Right. So if you wrote select something, then that is not correct. Okay, hopefully this one is making sense. Another one. Can you try this one now? Find the name of all suppliers who supply a product that is green or red or green. What do we have to do? Can you show the last slide again? Yes. So this is what I had. So the same answer you will find in the chat box. This one. Yeah. How do you think we should write this one? Find the name of all suppliers who supply a product that is red or green. Okay, excellent. Someone said project the name, select name equal to red or name equal to green. Then product join catalog, join supplier. Excellent job. Yep. Color equal to red, not name. That's great. The second one, depending on the bracket, looks like good, but depending on the bracket, that could be wrong. So if you are writing supplier and catalog, and there you are putting the condition color, but color is in the product table. right? So that's what I'm saying. If all of your brackets are in the right place, then that's fine. Otherwise, that could be wrong. Yeah, so two of them wrote, looks good. So this is what we are first doing. So before showing you, first think about what we need to do, right? So you have been given the color is red or green. So color is in the product table. So first you need to go to the product table and there you put a condition on color, right? Whether color is got red or green. Once you identify that, so what do you get? You get the PID, right? So knowing that PID, in which table you should go. So next time you should go to the catalog table, right? Because here I have the PID, so I can find the related SID from here. Once I know this SID, then I can go to the supplier table. Using that SID, I can figure out the name, right? So that is what we are talking about. So first go to product table, put a condition on color, find the PID, use that PID from catalog to find the SID, and then go to supplier table using that SID, print out the name. Okay, so that's what we are doing in here. So have a look, specifically these brackets that we have. So this part is only on the product table first. Right. So from here, we are only working on the product table. Then we are joining that one with catalog table to find the SID. Once I know the SID, then I am joining with the supplier table, and from there I am getting the name. Hopefully this is making sense. Have a look. If you have any question, feel free to ask. So yeah, someone was asking about the orders. That's what I said when I put a condition. So if you put like supplier in here and product outside using the brackets that I have, then that one would definitely be wrong. Because if you put supplier in here, in supplier you don't have color, right? So color you have in the product. So that's why I say depending on the condition, order might matter. Can I use cross product? Yes, you can use cross product, but at that time you have to put the conditions for cross product. So if you're using cross product, then you have to say that the SID of catalog is equal to the SID of supplier, PID of product is equal to PID of catalog. So that's what you have to. Do we need to specify conditional join? So yes, in here you have condition. So yeah, so you need to put that condition there. Join all tables will be fine, right? Yes, you can join all of them first and then put all of the conditions. That one will be fine, no issues. Do we need to use left join or some other kind of join in the exam? No. Normal natural join will be fine. Someone wrote color equal to red or color equal to green, product join, catalog join, supplier. Yep, looks good. Hopefully you got an idea regarding relational algebra. Let's talk about SQL. SQL should be easier. Find the ID of all the students who are enrolled in both of this unit, right? The same three tables we have. This is the query that we are going to write. Hopefully you now understand, right? Since we have an AND, if I simply write select SID from enrolled where unit of code equal to this one and unit of code equal to this one, that one would be wrong. I'm guessing everyone is familiar by now with that, right? So we have to perform intersect in this case. Okay, so first we'll figure out who are enrolled in this unit, then we'll figure out who are enrolled in this unit, then we'll perform intersection between them. Okay. If this question is changed and ID has been changed to name, okay, all of the things are same, only this ID has been changed to name. If I write select name, then to the intersection, that one will be wrong. Okay. If you have any confusion in the lecture slide, you will see examples of the data in the table. Okay. Why that one would be wrong. I'm guessing everyone is familiar with that by now. So first, what we have to do, we have to work on the primary key, so which is SID. So first we figure out the SID and then we figure out the name using the SID that we have. Okay. Someone is asking where ID in the first answer. I'm not getting what you're asking in there. Can you clarify? Someone is asking, can we use natural join? So yeah, that's what I say. So do you have to do natural join in this case? You have only one table. If you're talking about this second one that you have, so yes, you can perform natural join in there, right? But again, you need to be careful to figure out the name that you have. Why I say that, I will explain in the next slide. Okay. Okay, can you write the query for this one? Think about how you are going to answer this. Find the name of the students who are enrolled in the unit of study that has the highest credit point. How do you think we should write the query for this? Okay, someone wrote it for us. Select the name from student, join, enroll, join into the study where point equal to select max of point. Yeah, excellent. So that join would be natural join. Okay, whatever join you have written in there, so that one will be natural join. Okay, so for others, let's have a look. How do you understand, or how should our thinking be to answer this query, right? So what is the first thing that I need to figure out for this question? Find the name of the student who are enrolled in the interview study that has the highest credit point. So that is the first thing I need to figure out. What is the highest credit point? I don't know. The question is not giving me that, right? So first I need to figure that one out. So where is the credit point in interview study table? I have the points, right? So from that one, I can figure out the highest credit point using max. So if I write something like this, select max of point from interview study. That one will give me highest credit point. Okay. So once I know that thing, that what is my highest credit point, what do I need to figure out from that one? Which unit of study have this point, right? So that is the next thing I need to figure out. Which unit of study has this point? So maximum point, let's say, is 12. So which of this unit of study have 12 point? We need to figure that one out. So how that we figure that one out, we can write something like this. So here we can use equal because max will be only one, right? So select unit of study code from unit of study table where point equal to this one. Now I know unit of study code. What do I need to figure out from there? So from there, from the unit of study code, we need to figure out the SID, right? So in this unit of study, which students are enrolled? So what do I need to go? I need to go to enroll table and then figure out that one. Hopefully every step is making sense. So I figured out SID from enroll table where unit of study code is coming from here. Since unit of study could be multiple, that's why I'm using in. Finally, I have SID, what I can do. So since I know the SID, I now can print out the name from the student table. That's what I can do. right? So from the student table, I can figure out the name where SID equal to this. So you can see all of these things. There is no join. So this one will be very efficient. Okay. So this is approach one. This is one way to do it step by step. Another way could be how someone wrote in the chat box, join everything and then put a condition. So from the question, we know that we need to use all of these tables. So join all of them and then put the condition that you have. Okay, so what is the condition? Condition is highest credit point. So first figure that one out. First figure out the max point and then simply join everything and simply write point equal to this. Okay. So in this case, we are first joining everything. So we are creating a bigger table, right? And then checking this condition that we have. So either of them is fine. Okay, in the exam, we are not looking for efficient code. Okay, so as long as it works, so that is fine. So you can write something like this will work as well. Someone is asking, can we use s.sid equal to e.sid? Yes. So if you are using not natural join, but you are writing like comma, right? So instead of natural join, you are simply writing from student, comma, enrolled, comma, need of study, right? So that simply you are simply using cross product. So at that time, you need to write all of those conditions, where is student.sid equal to enroll.sid and things like that. Okay. No, someone wrote limit one. No, that one would be wrong. So if you're limiting only one, so you are only finding only one student, but this question is asking find the name of all the students who are enrolled. So if you're writing order by point limit one, how many students you are printing out? You are printing out only one. So that one would be wrong. Okay, there definitely could be multiple students who have enrolled in that unit. Hopefully making sense. Another SQL. What do you think about this one? Find the number of students in each country except Australia. So except Australia, find country name and number of students coming from that country. Only include country that have equal or more students than Australia. So how many students do we have in Australia? We need to first figure that one out and then compare. After that, this one is asking, show the output in sorted order of country name. So we need to do some order by using country name. Okay. Try, let's see. Okay, so this one is asking find the number of students in each country. So now you got the idea that we have to use group by, right? Except Australia. So in higher condition, we'll put one. That country is not Australia. Only include countries that have equal or more students than Australia. So how many students we have in Australia, we need to count that one, right? And then put the condition. So when you put a condition on aggregate function, what do we need to use? We need to use having. And finally, sort, this one is saying, right? Have a look, does this one make sense? Select country and count this ID. So that's what this one is asking. Find number of students for each country. So for country, count the student from student table, where country is not equal to Australia, because except Australia. Group by country, because we are using country in here, right? And then there is a condition. Having count SID is greater or equal to the count we have from Australia, right? And finally, order by country. I specifically wrote this SQL question so that we can see all of these in one question, right? So this is all, these are all the keywords that we have learned. Select from, where, group by, having, order by. That one means not equal to. Okay. Yep. So this one means not equal to. Can country not equal to Australia to having clause? No, there is no aggregate function in there, right? So that's why we have where. When we use have, I'm guessing you are asking me about this having. So having we use when we have group by and we are working on some aggregate function there. So at that time we use having. Yeah, everything is looking good except that the question is asking except Australia. So that's what you have not written in there. Right. So other than that, everything is looking good. And also order by is missing. Yep, order by is missing from your answer as well. Yeah, this one was here just to show you all of these things in action, all the keywords that we have. Select from, where, group by, having, and order by. So those are all the keywords that we have learned. Okay. Okay, so just few things regarding the last lectures. The last week we could not finish, so we had 1 or 2 questions there. So what do you think, true or false? First one is true or false? Parser takes a query evaluation plan, executes that plan, and returns the answer. Is that what parser does? Anyone remembers? True or false? First one? No, no. Someone is saying no. Yep. So first one is false. So who does that? Who takes a query evaluation plan, executes that plan, and returns the answer? Who does that? Anyone remembers? Who does all of the job in the first line? First one is false. Parser does not do that. So there is a query evaluation engine, right? So query evaluator is there who performs all of these things. Okay, what about second one? SQL systems remove duplicate even if the keyword distinct is not specified in a query. Second one. Yep, second one is false as well. Excellent job, guys. So SQL by default does not remove duplicate, but relational algebra does. Okay, so if we put distinct, at that time it removes the duplicate. Third one, pipeline evaluation is cheaper than materialization. True, true, true. Yep, excellent job. Fourth one, external merge sort works even if the entire table does not fit in the main memory. Fourth one, yep. That is the reason why we used external merge sort, because our table could be too large, and if it doesn't fit the main memory so that we can merge, we use external one. Last one, natural join is a special case of equijoin. Yep, last one is true as well. So in equijoin, we have equal sign, right? So natural join will simply check for the same name. Excellent job. Just two questions regarding the storage thing that we have learned. Okay, assume we have this many record in a relation. Each record is 200 byte long. Each page is 4K byte. 250 bytes are reserved for header and 90% full. How many records can we store and how many pages are required? Right. So let me show you because of the time. So how many space we have left? So each page is 4K byte. So 4 into this one minus 250 because 250 was used for header. So we have this one left. Okay. How many record we can store? So each record takes 200 byte, and in each page we have this much byte. Okay. So if we take the float, so it gets 19 record that we have. From the 19, this one is saying the pages are 90% full. So if I take 90% of 19, we will take the floor again, and that one will come up as 17 records. And finally, how many pages we need, right? So in each page we can store 17. We have this many records. So this one divided by 17 is this number of pages. So at this time we take the ceiling. Okay. So if it comes up as a 58823 point something, that means we need one extra page. Okay. So this time, these two times we take the floor, and here we take the ceiling from there. Hopefully these things are easy to do by now. Last thing that we have for today and for this semester is this one. Someone is asking, can we do 90% into 3846 rather than 19 into 90%? Yes, you can do that. How much byte you have left, but remember to take the ceiling or floor. Okay, don't mix those things. Okay, so let's say we have two tables, employee and department. There are this many tuples in employee table, this many tuples in department table. It requires 500 pages and 100 pages to store employee and department table. So if we are thinking about nested loop join and block nested loop join, how much do we need? So someone is asking, do we need to assume the outer table by ourselves? No, if the outer table is not given, you need to show us both the answers. Okay? So first think about employee table is the outer table, what will be the cost? Think about department table as the outer table and what will be the cost. Okay. So yeah, so that's what we are seeing in here. Employee as an outer table, department as an outer table. So what will be the cost in both the cases? And in block nested loop join. So we know the formula, right? There I simply put these values. Hopefully these things are easy. As long as you remember the formula, everything should be fine. Okay. You simply put the value in there and get the output. Any question on these two? Okay, if not, then that's it. So that's it, all the things that we have learned in this semester. Okay. Someone is asking how to get C in the cost. So either C will be given to you for index join, or you would be given a tree, right? So from that tree, you can see how many levels will be there. And from there, you can figure out the C, how many pages you need to read. Okay, so if you look into the tutorial sheet, there will see that you need to figure out C looking into the B plus tree that you are going to have. Okay. Or it might be given to you. Okay, so that's it, all the content that we had. Okay, so these are the teaching team. We try to help you as much as we can. Make sure you thank your tutor during the tutorial session. At least we have learned something from them, right? So if C equal to 3, if we have 3 levels, yes, if we have 3 levels, then that one will be C. Last thing, just to remind you, there is a survey available for you to complete. Please complete that survey. Please do that. Survey is confidential. Okay. Whatever you want to write, something good that you have found in this unit, write that. If you find something bad, okay, write that one as well. No issues. Mention everything that you have experienced so that we can learn from our mistake, or if something is good, we can keep doing that thing. Okay. try to be specific. Only one thing I'd mention, if you are writing something regarding your tutor that my tutor is very good, write the name of the tutor, right? Because this is confidential. We don't know your name. We can't figure out who your tutor is because there are more than one tutor, right? But if you're writing my lecturer is bad, we know because lecturer is only one. We know who that lecturer is. But if you're writing my tutor is very good, I don't know which tutor you're talking about. Okay, so if you're writing something about your tutor, mention the name. If you're writing about the lecturer, you can simply write lecturer, or you can write my name, that's fine, but there is only one, which is there. Okay, but try to complete this survey. Okay, that one will definitely help. Best of luck with the final exam. If you have any question, we'll still keep talking. Okay, in the 8, no worries till the final exam. Best of luck, everyone. Hopefully, I will see you in any other semester later. Someone is saying we have exam sample next week. Sample exam is already uploaded in Canvas. When you calculate the pages, if there are decimals in the final result calculation, should we add one more page directly or round it? So that's what is written in here. So this is what you are asking. So you always need to take the ceiling. It's not asking about you to round it up. Okay, so ceiling means +1. If the question do not tell us how many percentage of space should we assume 100%, yes. If it says nothing, don't make any assumption, just use 100%. So 19 records will be there if this line is not there. Okay. Will today's lecture slide be available? Yes, so that's what I said at the start. This slide deck will be available in Canvas after this lecture. When we do the binary search, should we plus extra pages since there are a number of pages containing retrieve records? No. For binary search, you can only write to find the first one, how many pages you need, because you don't know how many record you need to read from there. Okay. When you get the marks of quiz 2, we already talked about that one. Next week, okay, you are going to get the mark of quiz 2. Is there a tutorial today? Yes, there is a tutorial today. Okay. Someone is asking, must use ceiling or floor? So in this case, ceiling, right? So if you have 2.5 page, that means you need to take 3 page. Okay, so in this case, this one will be ceiling, but these two will be floor. Looks like that's all the question. You have 5 minutes before, so take a break and then join your tutorial session. Thank you, everyone. I hope I have taught you something which will be helpful in the future. Okay. So if you have any question, feel free to let me know. Someone is asking for the binary search, should it be log n or log n plus 1? It should be log n. Can I use 2.5 equal to 3? Yep, that is the thing I want you to do. Yep, thank you, everyone. This is the one you are looking for. Can we explain the IO? So it depends on the formula that we have, right? So for this one, what was the formula we had? So probably the formula was BR plus number of things that we have into BS, something like that. No, this should be R. So this is that formula. So BR simply means block. So in here, block means pages, how many pages we have. So in here we have 500 pages, so that's we have. And R simply means that one was employee table. In employee table, we have 1,000 record, 10,000 record. So that's what we have multiplied by B of S, so which is 100 pages, right? So this is BR when I'm talking about employee as an R. In this case, we are using department as an R. Okay. So this is BR, this is BS, this is employee table. So number of row, and this is number of row in S. Okay. Someone is asking, for example, if there are 65 pages and I use binary search, so the result is 6 or 7. Think about which one you need to do. So you will always use 7, right? So if it is 6 point something, that simply means you need to read one extra page, which is 7th page, right? So it will be 7. In the final exam, do you need to type floor or ceiling? No, that is not required as long as you write the answer correctly, that one will be fine. Could you recommend the website or app for ER diagram? You are asking for drawing ER diagram. So my recommendation would be draw.io. That one is very easy to draw and export. Okay. So my recommendation would be draw.io. Yeah, that's fine. That's what I said. You don't have to write seal or floor, right? So yeah, you can directly write the answer. Yes, that's correct. Okay, that's it, everyone. See you in next semester if you are taking some courses from me. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and best of luck with the final exam.